This
Sharing.
conference will now be recorded.
Perfect. Okay. 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 I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So today we are actually going to see a couple of things more, right, in terms of how we can really use this one, right? Yesterday I've showed you how we can create a Windows 10 as well as the Windows or maybe the Ubuntu server, right? I'm going to repeat the exact same thing. However, I'm going to show you a different way how we can really deploy application, because yesterday what we did, we have deployed the Nginx one, and then we have kind of like use the normal uh, just modified a small application, right? But in this case, what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to show you how we can really deploy an full-fledged application. So like in case if I have a HTML application, how can I really deploy that one? So for that I have this thing which we can really go with. So here if you see, I really run this application. I'm going to show you how we can really deploy this, or kind of like run this application which is currently running in my environment. So I'm going to say like http, and then I'm going to say looks like a C drive. Let's see, and I think it's Azure DevOps. Let me see where it is exactly. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to just say this slash index.html, for example, right? Okay. And this is the HTML file which I've created, right? And this is the application. And like this one, we can really have the application, right? We can go ahead and you can really deploy that application. So let's go back to our code. Oh, sorry, this one. And I am going to create a new virtual machine just to repeat that process, the one which we created yesterday, right? Okay. And I'm going to click on this same as your DevOps one, which we are going to create. And I'm going to name this as RK Ubuntu Server 2. Okay. Now today we are going to use the same thing, Ubuntu 64 B2S, fine, very good. But now I'm going to show you how we can really use the SSH public key for that, right? Instead of a password, how is it possible we can really use that, and how can we really kind of like use this SSH key to connect to our application? We can really do this also. Perfect. So I'm going to say username is you Azure username. We have a generate new key pair here, and the name for this key pair is this one, right? Perfect. So I'm going to allow again SSH as well as the HTTP. Let's click on desk. I'm good with this list. Fine. Yes, I'm allowing the public IP address. Whatever I have, I can really go it with this public IP address, and we will be going and creating this one. Okay. Next. I'll just click next. And yeah, this is okay. I'll click next and review and create. Okay, so I can see this particular application, or maybe the server which will actually I'm going to create, will cost me somewhere around 7 rupees per hour, which is fine. I'll scroll down all the way and I'll just click on create. Okay, now as you can see, right, it is saying that we have to download the private key as we are going to create. The moment I click on this one, definitely the key will be stored in my local environment, and then I can copy that key and then I can use it whenever I want. Okay, so I'll just click on download key and private key here and create resource. So this is the key which is already downloaded. I can see this is the key which I have. I'll just go ahead and use this key, and for connecting that one, we should be really having this key. I'll explain you how we can really do it. Click here. If I go back, uh, okay, then I'm going to copy this key, and I'm going to, okay. So I have copied this key and stored it into the location where is the same one which I have right now.
Also,
Just a
your
minute.
screen got stuck somewhere.
No, no, I'm just making some changes here. Just a minute. So this is where I've kind of like copied these two keys, right? One is the index HTML, and this is where my PEM key is already there. Perfect. Let's go back. I can just refresh. I can see that my application is, yes, the virtual machine is already deployed. Let's go back to the virtual machine, and I can see this virtual machine currently here, right? Now, in case if I want to connect to this virtual machine, first of all, I need to click on this connect. Yesterday, if you remember, we have kind of like, use the SSH key, SSH location, and that's where exactly the same thing which we're gonna do here. When I'm talking about this one, right, it is automatically giving me the method of how you can really connect to this particular thing. This is how I have to really provide the SSH key, and I can really connect to my particular application. So yesterday we have seen that how we can really use the admin and password, because right now I don't have any username and a pass or admin, that particular password, because I have this key. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy the exact same thing. I'm going to open a new window here, okay, and say like I'll go back to C drive, clear C. I'll go back, go to the drive actually which I have. So I'll go to CD, and inside this CD I have a drive like lab. I think it's labs. Okay. If I see dir, I have this VM folder here. Okay. I'll go to VM folder and dir. So I can see this is my file. Again, this should be kind of like, because I have configured this one. In case if I want to open this particular file, what I can do, I can go back to my browser. I can open this file and I can say I want to use this. Where is that? Labs, and I can go back to VM and I can just change the file text and I can just open this file. So this is how this file actually look like. This is my private key, and this is a kind of like a very big text which you should be really having, which is saved in the PEM file. Perfect. Now I have what I have to do. I have to just type something like SSH hyphen I. Hyphen I is something which where I am providing my particular file name wherever I've really saved it. So from whenever you are running that file, say like in case if you have kept it in some location, you have to really provide the location for that particular file. So here in this case, I am providing, okay, there is a file which I already created. So I'm just typing a name of that file. So if I type RK and just type a tab here, automatically it took the name. And then I'm going to copy this and I'm going to just paste it here and enter. First time it will ask me yes, and I'm going to say okay. Now what happens? It actually created, because when you are really creating the first time inside the Windows, okay, in a Linux one, you can really access this file, but it says that the permission for this particular file is to open. We have to really make it very restricted. Okay, so what we can do is we can go back to the file, right click on this file, and go to the properties of this file. Once I go to the properties, I will go to security and I will remove the all the users whatever we have. So I can go ahead and I'll go here and we will remove the full access. So we can remove everything. 1 minute. Move for 1 minute. Full access is remove. 1 minute. Change. 1 minute. should be. I should have actually done this. Okay. So now I'm going to remove.
See, those
Let,
are default user accounts. You cannot remove.
yeah, I actually can delete this one.
No, the default users details, those you cannot remove. Let it be like this.
I've logged in with a different user. That's why actually. Okay, no worries. Let's do one thing. For a purpose of this one, I'm going to switch back to the password based. Let's see. Go back. Okay, so let's go back to the same virtual machine which I've created yesterday, right? So let's go back here. We have this Ubuntu server. I'm going to connect to this Ubuntu server for now. Okay, select, and I'm going to copy this one. 1 minute. I'll go back and I will put up here SSH and enter. Okay, the password is okay. Perfect, no problem. So I have this application which I logged in using Ubuntu server. I will go back. I will copy this one. Okay, the one which I have. I'll just put up here in the browser. And yesterday we have seen, right? We have made a small change here, which is actually in the application. Now what we are going to do is how can we really connect to this particular application using a better method, because this is where we I don't want to really log in every day and make some changes, because I am working on a development scenario and to upload some files here. How can I really make sure that we are going and deploying this particular thing? So for that there is a tool which you can really download, and that tool is WinSCP. This is the tool. You have to download this particular to connect to any Linux operating system, and provides you a way for moving or connect, or kind of like giving you a folder level structure. So whenever you are using this one, you can just go ahead and download, and you can start using it. Now once you install this, how it will really look like. So if I type WinSCP, okay, 1 minute. It will look like something this is a normal, your whatever application you can really create. So this is how you can go ahead and create this one. Now I have this HTML file here also. If I click on, I can go with this particular location and I can open this file. Okay, it's the exact same file which I have just showed you, right? And I'm going to share that file with you also. But now how can I really connect to this particular application? So there is an option, okay, where you can really click on 1 minute, what happened? New site, new tab. Okay, so click on new tab. There it will actually open a new workspace here. What you can do is you can just click on new workspace. Right. Okay, let's click on a new site, and inside this site you can really use the protocol which is provided. Now if you remember, right, yesterday I also kind of like this mentioned that you can also use a FTP option, where you can upload your files. Or FTP is the protocol actually which is used to usually transfer your files from one location to another location, or to submit in the file system, right? Like the way we have HTTP and SSH, FTP is also used for transferring the file. But if you remember, right, we have opened only SSH and HTML protocols inside our NSG, right? The one which we have created. So if I go back again here in the networking section, okay, I can see that only SSH and HTTP is allowed. There is no FTP is configured here. However, this SCP will actually use your SSH connection as a FTP, and that will consider as a secured FTP, which will get converted, and that's why we will be able to really use this for even a file transport options. Perfect. How can I really do that? I just have to go back and put up the host name for this one. So say like in case if I go back and put up the host name, which is my Ubuntu system here, I'll go back here. I will copy this IP address and I will paste it here. Okay, I'll change it port 22, which is fine. And username, whatever the username I have. So I have a username is Azure admin, and I'm going to put up a password here. So I'm going to say, and I'm going to log in. Yes. Okay. Now you can see it actually logged in directly inside my Ubuntu system. Now, if you remember yesterday, the folder which we have actually used, which was slash var slash ww slash html. So how can we really go here? You just have to double click here, again double click here, so you can come to the root of this particular thing, right? Under this root you can have multiple folders here. You can see that there are a bunch of folders which are already available. Guys, you are able to hear me and see my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay. So now inside this one, we have a folder which is var. You have to go to var and then www and html. Now I can actually use this. You can see, right? I can either download this particular file or I can delete this file and create this new file. That also we can do. Let's try deleting this file first. Try. Okay. Um, let's do one thing. Let's delete this file from here first. Cd slash www var slash html, and I'm going to say sudo rm and then the index file dir. There's nothing here. Refresh. If I move this file, let's see what is going to happen. Okay. Okay, 1 minute. What we need to really do here is that because we have actually used this particular file, right? Or maybe the folder which is there, it is not allowing for anybody to really put any files here because it for this one. But in case if I want to use this particular option, what we need to really do is we can go back to our folder and I can modify the permission of this particular folder. Okay, so how can I really do that? I can say chmod 777, sorry, dot slash html slash dot. Okay, permission not permisses. So sudo chmod and modify the files here. Now let's see in case if we can really create this one. Yes. Perfect. Now what we did actually, we have allowed a permission for this everything whatever inside this HTML folder. Okay, we are allowing this 777, which is like a read write and all the permissions. If you see, we have now allowed the read write permission for this particular thing. Okay. Now once I have this index.html file here, what I can do, I can go back and I can just refresh my page. So I'll go back to my Ubuntu system here and I will just try to refresh. Can you see? It's as simple as that. Are you following me, guys?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So
Yes.
you just replace the HTML file. That's it, right?
Yes, that's it. So for now, we have just replaced this HTML file. This is the basic thing, right? Whenever you are deploying any application, this is where you can really go ahead and use this one. Now, this is one of the option. But when we are talking about deploying the application, which is maybe built up in a Java or a .NET or any other thing, right? What you have to do is you have to log in, and that's where I want to show you the actual pain of doing the deployment, or earlier how people used to really do. This is not something which people are doing right now, but I want to give you that pain which people might have done last time, to face these kind of issues. So that's where. Now when we talk about this one, this is kind of like getting considered as a platform as a service, correct? Oh, sorry, the infrastructure as a service. When we go back again, if I talk about this one, Okay, so if I go back here, what is happening here, right? We are actually going to, we have this virtual machine. Now, the first thing is we have to first create this virtual machine, right? This is the one thing. Second thing is once you create this virtual machine, you need to ensure that you are installing or deploy web server. Okay. Now, once your web server is deployed, then we can really go with something like a application deployment or application kind of like deploy wherever you really want. So this is one another option. And then the third thing is like you have to also maintain this entire setup here. So you have, because it's not like in a one time deployment which is really happening. Guys, just give me 1 minute, I'm getting a call. Yep, sorry guys. So what I was saying is that in case if we want to really go ahead and create a virtual machine here, right, and then deploy the web server, then deploy the application, and also doing a manual way of uploading your files, which is again the when we talk about the application deployment, right? This is the complete deployment process which we are really doing. Now imagine you have a very heavy application, and there are a lot of users actually who are really getting into stuff. Then it will be very difficult for this one. And this is actually get considered as a IaaS, infrastructure as a service, right? This is a service which is again provided by Azure itself as a service. Is there any better way actually we can really manage this one? Okay, there is definitely a better way in terms of how we can really move from infrastructure as a service to something like a platform as a service. So I'll just move it to platform as a service. Correct. Now when we talk about the platform as a service, what is really going to happen? There is a service which says web application, which is again a very popular service provided by Azure, okay, which we are going to see now. Web app. Now, what is the advantage of actually doing this particular web application? The first thing is the entire process of creating virtual machine, deploying the web server, and deploying the application on top of that web server is getting completely automated using this web application. Okay, you just have to create this, which is giving you this two method. Readily build your deployment server. Okay, you don't have to really manage anything here. And second thing is this web application can act and can scale based on your requirement. It's very again here in case if I ask you, right, say like in case if tomorrow your application is growing and you want to really upgrade this particular virtual machine, or you have to make the different virtual machine for this one, what you have to do is you have to shut down this particular application. Without shutdown you cannot change the instance. Okay, I'll show you how we can really change that instance type and everything. But for that instance type changes, you have to really kind of like shut down this particular system, wherein in case if you are upgrading your web application, the underlying system will not get impacted. So it is a kind of like a zero downtime which you will be really receiving. And as we move forward, we will be getting more and more into the platform as a service. Again, this is not also a best option for your production systems, right? The best option is that you are running an application in a Docker container, okay, Docker, or maybe you can say in a Kubernetes environment. Now we want to see how the transformation really happens from virtual machine to the Kubernetes deployment. This is where we are going to achieve, right? This is where we are going to see how we are really deploying, or how companies are now today we are really having all these options. So we have seen this particular piece. Again, it's a very small thing which I have show you, but definitely there are multiple variations you can really try out. You can do it. You can install the application. You can try to connect this application. You can see what is how you can really map and all those particular pieces, right? But there are few advantages also in case if you want to use the virtual machine. Say like in case if you already have a virtual machine running in your environment. Nowadays what happens, say like in case if you have on premises, which is most of the companies are already having, right? What they generally do is whenever they want to migrate, right? The first thing what they do, they actually migrate from virtual machine to virtual machine. They don't really go directly from virtual machine to Kubernetes. That's not possible, because you have to first convert this application, or you have to convert your application from virtual machine to the Kubernetes. So there is a process. The word is for that is a transformation, or you can say modernization. Okay, this modernization is to be required or to be created for the application which you want to modernize for Kubernetes. Not all application can be modernized, not all, because say like you have an application which is running in an older version of Python, or older version of .NET, or older version of Java. They may not be able to, you may not be able to really convert that into something like a Kubernetes. Today everybody is using Kubernetes. All the new application whatever you really see, they all are running in a Kubernetes container environment. Nobody is using a virtual machines. Okay, but again, these Kubernetes is also backed up with the virtual machines. It's not like Kubernetes is something different, right? The underlying system is a virtual machine here, but the advantage for this one is that you don't have to manage this virtual machine. This is completely managed by Microsoft, okay, or Azure, or any cloud provider, whatever you really go with. Here in case if you want to manage your virtual machine, the virtual machine management is completely yours. Now when I talk about management, right, the management could be your patching, your upgrades, your making sure that in case if something happens to you're going and troubleshooting that particular virtual machine, scaling of that virtual machine, everything is kind of like a managed thing, and you have to manage that. Wherein in case if you go for this particular path, definitely you become a more a provider become more manageable, and you just focus on the application what you have. So far with me, guys, any questions on this one?
See, up to here, what is difference between web server and application server?
Web server and
Application server, both are
appli-
same, right? If I'm not wrong.
yes, both are same. Here I'm talking about the web server is that the nginx. Okay, where
Mhm.
here say like what we have done application, I'm talking about the application here, actual application. So say like in case if I
Okay.
talk about this one, right, this is your VM. Okay, the VM virtual machine which we created. This is your nginx, which is required to run your web application, and this is say like your actual application, the HTML, right, the HTML file which I have just showed you. Getting it?
Yeah, yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So now, and again, as I mentioned, right, there could be a use cases where you want a specific virtual machines to be created. So this is your first path, right? And this is generally get called it as a lift and shift. You might have heard about a terminology like lift and shift. Now, what is this lift and shift? Lift and shift is nothing but the same approach where you are just lifting and shifting this particular virtual machine from one location to another location. As simple as that. But when you're talking about modernizing that application, okay, when you're talking about the complete modernization, then you will go ahead and deploy this into the Kubernetes environment. Now there is one more path which companies can really use. Instead of deploying the application directly into the Kubernetes, they can also go for a platform as a service or a web application. But now there is one condition here. There are three stages actually for any application. Say like one stage is where you have a very legacy application, okay, and in this legacy application you do not have any kind of a installation or you do not have anything, right? And this is very restricted with the virtual machine. You do not have any kind of a installation for that one. There is no development going on. There is no development is actually happening here. This is like one time developed and no development here. Nobody is really using this, and this is a standalone application which is running since long time, but still it is running. It is doing the, it is fulfilling the purpose. You are happy with this one, fine, no problem. Second option could be something like you still have a legacy application, okay, but this legacy application is also having a development team. It is continuously development going on. Okay, you have a development team, and here you just have a operations team. That's it. You don't have any development here. It's just the operations which is really going on. Perfect. And then you have a development, and definitely with the development you also have a operations team, right? And people are also using, everything is working fine, no problem. Now here you have a new application, altogether new application, where you have a development and operations team, and you want to now go with this one. Now these are the three approaches. Generally, whenever a company is going for a cloud computing, they have either three of these use cases. There's no fourth use case. Okay, or maybe there could be another use case, something like in case if you have a legacy application or you have a dedicated application which is required to be deployed on a new application, but there is no development going on. There is nothing development on your system. Rather than that, you have a restriction that it should be running on a virtual machine only, which should have a specific hardware requirement. There might be application, there are few applications which are there, but there might be applications actually. For example, SAP, right? SAP is required to be running on a virtual machines. SAP is a very big system. So in that context, if you want a virtual machine, then definitely you have to choose something like that, a very big ERP solution. Now in these two scenarios, okay, your approach should be always go with infrastructure as a service. And this is a interview question I'm giving you answer for. This is a real world experience. In case if someone asks you, hey, when do you think you should be really going with a virtual machine? Two scenarios. One is where when you have a legacy application and you have only operations team, you do not have any development team, definitely you will first go with this approach. Okay, migration strategy, lift and shift. Or you have a new application where you will be only providing the operations for that one. You don't have a development because SAP example, right? SAP, you do not develop. SAP is already developed. There is a different team who is developing that one. You are just managing that. That's it. So that's where you are getting that application. You are just deploying that application. That time you need a virtual machine. Perfect. Now, in case if you have a legacy application, you still have a development and you have an operating system. Now, why I'm putting a development here? Because you have a development means you have a code with you. You have an actual code with you, and that code is changing. You know that last time you deployed that, fine, no problem. So converting this application and deploying this application into your platform as a service is easy. Because here, in case if I want to convert this, first of all, I don't have a code. So how can I really deploy this? And for deploying this one, I need to have a code. Without code, I cannot deploy my application onto the web application, as simple as that. But I can move this application as it is into the virtual machine, because I can create an image and I can just deploy this image here. Perfect. I don't care what is really running inside that one. But here I need to care, because this is a continuous kind of like deployment which I am doing and which I is really using. Now, in case if I have a completely new application, I can either go for this approach, okay, or I can go for the best approach is this, deployed in the Kubernetes environment. Perfect. So everyone who is currently using or developing anything new, oh, okay, or they might be also go with this approach. It's not like they cannot really go with this particular approach. They can either go with this approach. If you already have a Kubernetes environment, you can go to any of these approaches. There is no kind of like harm with going with this particular thing. But in case if you have a legacy application, there are still some of the things which may not be really supported by Kubernetes environment, so you can still go with this one. Because with Kubernetes environment, there is a concept. I'm just giving a name of that concept. That concept is something like a stateful application or stateless application. Have you heard about these terminologies? Stateless or stateful? Anyone?
Yes, we had heard this.
Okay.
No, sir.
So we will Okay, so when we talk about, we'll discuss more about these stateful and stateless application. But on a nutshell, I'm going to tell you that say like any application which is having a state. State is nothing but a database, a storage where this particular system required a storage. That time that becomes a stateful. That means it is maintaining a state. Wherein stateless is actually something which is not maintaining any state and just replying whatever you are asking. Example, chat gpt. What do you think, chat gpt is a stateless application or stateful application?
Stateful, I think.
Exactly, yes. Why stateful? Because it has a memory. It is actually storing everything in the memory, and it is reading from that memory. It is reading from whatever you have. So that memory is really important. If he lose that memory, everything is gone, because whatever he learned, it's like vanished. Okay, no problem. I think this is where we are kind of like getting more interesting things. Let's do one more thing here. Sorry, any questions?
See, when we are going to use this web applications like stateful and stateless means where we don't have database, right?
Right.
Okay, most of the websites will be having a database. Without database, I don't think so. Websites are running. That
Perfect.
are not.
Okay, got it. But again, when I say
Yeah.
stateful application, all application are stateless. Why so? I'll tell you. Because when I talk about application, right? Application is built of how many pieces? Have you heard about a terminology like a tier, multi-tier application? Have you heard about this terminology? Multi-tier or a front end or a full stack development. Have you heard about full stack development? Okay. Now,
No.
what is this full stack development? No? Okay. So let me give you some brief about this particular terminology, and then maybe we'll for look. Every application will have three components. First is database, second is the app server, and third thing, or maybe you can say backend here nowadays, which is API server, your APIs. Don't worry about this terminology. We'll get more detailed about these things. Okay. And then you have a front end. I'm using right now, the Figma. This is just a front end. There's nothing happening here. Okay. However, whenever I'm making any change, this change is going to push into the backend, and my backend is actually pushing my state, whatever I have, into the database, and database is storing everything inside a storage. So in this scenario, which one become a stateful application and which is stateless application? These all three are stateless application. All three are applications. Imagine they are different applications. This is a front end application. This is a back end application. This is the database application. Database is also application. Correct? It's a form of application. SQL, MySQL, whatever you have, it's again a simple application. But the requirement for everything is different. Front end do not need any state. Why? Because it's completely depend on the APIs. Then second thing is, or in case if it keep a state also like temporary storage, but that temporary storage is going to vanish because every time I can go back and I can pull the information. Okay, that's why I don't need to maintain a state here. API server also do not need to really maintain. There are a lot of applications we do not maintain the state inside my application itself. What they generally do is they also use something like a cache, and this cache is also a separate application. Now this cache needs to store something in a storage. So this application become a stateful application because it requires a storage. Okay, in case if I change this one, this is a storage, this is storage, just to differentiate here. Okay, that means these application, caching application now become a stateful application. Database application becomes a storage because it's also required a storage, is become a stateful. However, my API and my front end do not need any kind of a storage, then it becomes a stateless application. So we will get into these deeper understanding, right? And you will see that as we move forward. Perfect. So far with me, guys.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, maybe I think we can switch the table, and if someone can show me how you have really created a virtual machine, maybe I can help you so we can see creating a Linux virtual machine. I think if that is possible, if someone can share your screen and can, start showing me something which you have done so far. Who wants to go? Last time I remember Gopinath was there. Who else is there? Deva,
I will
Nirosha.
create. I will create and show you. Yeah. Let me share my screen.
Perfect.
Where is the share option? For me, block the share option.
No, no, I have already gave you, right? No?
No, no,
Make you
no. To
presenter.
share, ask. Okay,
Yeah.
now,
Can you now?
yeah, I do have.
Perfect.
Just let me know if you're able to see my screen. You guys able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes, yes. I am able to see it.
Okay, so let me. So this is
Okay,
my
let's
prepared. Okay, I'm going
okay.
to video
Let's
virtual
create a virtual
machine.
machine. Let's go to the virtual machine.
Yes.
Now let's do one thing. Okay, let's create two virtual machines.
Yes.
Okay, one is a Windows virtual machine, another one is a Linux virtual machine. Let's do this one.
Yes. Okay. Only John. I just give like default like this. Windows. I give this one.
10,
Okay.
Windows 10, Windows 10. Just select Windows 10.
Okay. Seems okay. Article. Let me allow all. And this is what is this? I just leave it as default. I'm not going to change anything here. Windows. Something is license asking. Shall I select this?
Yes, confirm. Yes, you need to confirm that.
I go with Ubuntu.
Yes. Now
I'll give
inside
it
this one,
install.
right? When you are, yeah, Ubuntu, go with Ubuntu 20.04 LTS. The above one, free one, right? I think just scroll up.
It's a free trailer on that. Okay.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So now in this one, right, you are going to just click on password and just open the HTTP file or HTTP connection only. We are not going to enable the login for SSH here. We are just going to log in. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to log into Windows 10 server, and from there we are going to connect to the SSH, right? And from there we will be configuring the system. Let's see that.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I can give any password, right?
Yes, should be 12 character long.
Okay, now I guess. I just give default as this.
Yeah, can you just show me that what port can I just actually missed one piece.
1 second, this something is missing here. Confirm password. So what do you want to see? What do you want to see?
No, so scroll down.
Yes.
Yes, so HTTP, remove HTTP and HTTPS, only keep SSH. Oh, sorry, HTTP and HTTP is only HTTP, remove SSH, only HTTP.
Done.
Yeah, yes.
Why? Where is Windows 10? So we have to create virtual machines one by one, or parallel you can't do.
We can do that, but there is a different way.
Okay, because we need to open one more. The previous
You
one.
can create definitely using the UI. You can only do one by one. Like you can click on this one, it will
Oh,
start, but you can go back. You can go back and you can start the another process. But that's again a manual way, right? You cannot do that.
this is Ubuntu machine got created now. Okay, I need to create that Windows and sorry, it got
Ubuntu machine is done.
yeah Ubuntu done. Ubuntu is machine done. Okay.
Okay, just show me all both the virtual machines.
No, that Windows 10 machine got the cancel while deploying. I just try to install create parallelly.
Oh,
So
okay. No, generally it won't happen. It will allow you because the process is already started, so you don't have to really worry about that.
I don't know something happened then. Those guys. let's confirm this RDP only, right? Here.
Only RDP. Yes, only RDP. Okay, so you can change the I think what you can do is actually you can, because you are using the free tier, right? You can change
Yes.
the location for that one. I think that could be the
Virtual
reason
machine.
it's not allowing you.
Virtual
Location,
machine.
location. Yeah, virtual machines location might be the different you need to really connect.
Location India.
Yeah,
South India. Okay. I'll just do South India. Rest all will be same. Okay.
stuck somewhere.
No, no, it's deploying now. I think, see, Linux machine will deploy soon. This Windows machines will take some time.
Yes, yes, yes. That's the main
That's
problem, I know.
it's going on. Which mission we need to connect first? Windows mission, right? Let it be deployed.
Yes,
It's
yes.
almost done. Okay. Still deploying. It's going. Oh, actually, client mission should be created first.
That's that's a beauty. That's a beauty of Windows virtual machine. That's the beauty of Windows virtual machine. That's one of the main thing.
Server will not take this much time. Even Windows Server also will not take this much time. This client mission taking time. Okay, done. Now both missions done. Let me connect Windows 10 mission now. Okay. Yes. So now I am in Windows 10 mission. So from here you want me to connect to Ubuntu mission, right?
Mm.
Okay, so it is. So now I'm in Windows 10 mission.
Try to connect to your SSH. Try to SSH because from as first of all, try to SSH from your local machine to the Ubuntu machine.
Okay, I think I don't have access. Okay, SHS hyphen username and Correct?
Yes, copy that.
I did copy.
Yes, enter. So you no no okay, enter. It will not allow you, right? Why? Because it is kind of sorry sorry. You have disabled that option, right? You have only allowed HTTP. So if you go back, you can only access the HTTP thing, not else.
So if I go here, my mission, here we enable only um, HTTPS.
So we only allowed this one, right? And that is purposefully we did it because we don't want to really connect to that one.
Okay. Shall we try from this mission now?
Yes, you should try from this machine. Correct.
It's getting very slow. I don't think so. This will it connect here? I don't think so. It will connect here.
Yeah, I think why I'll tell you. 1 minute, huh?
Mhm.
Just 1 minute, huh?
No, unable to connect.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because
Okay.
just a minute, just a minute, huh? Because actually, what happened, I'll tell you.
Okay.
You have created that in a different regions, right? And that's where it created two different virtual networks. And because those two different virtual network, your application is kind of like not able to connect from one to another application, or your
Okay.
virtual machine is not able to connect from one application to another application. Okay, that's the next step which we are going to do. I'm going to show you, but you can allow the SSH from your local laptop. Try that one.
From my local laptop. So in the
Yeah, enable
mission,
the SSH
will
here. Add inbound port. Yes, add inbound port here for the Ubuntu.
source any IP address are given.
Add the
Okay.
port source any port. The source port import.
Okay. Source port is
Now
2020, right?
type. No. Not source ports can be anything. A destination would be 2020. Keep that source port any. Destination port 8080. Instead of 8080, you have to put up 80 there or 22 there.
22. Yeah. So,
Now try to connect from your local laptop,
yeah. Yeah.
or from that laptop also. You should be able to do it. Are you putting up the proper IP address? And you have added this into the which one? Try one more time.
No, still,
No, try one more time. Try one more time.
yeah, yeah.
Can you show me which where you are doing that? Is it in the
See, this is,
which one?
see, this is my, uh,
Ubuntu virtual machine, right? Virtual machine. You go to virtual machine.
this is my Ubuntu virtual machine. Okay,
Okay.
just click on it here and network connections.
Yes,
Under network
perfect.
connection, I just add inbound rules.
Yes.
Inbound rules is
Yes.
this. You see here, source is
Yes.
any destination
Sure.
port
Yeah.
range. I just given stop. And
Fine.
any
Destination any.
custom I given and
Scroll down.
this one.
Yes, fine. Same. It should be the same thing. It should allow. Can you just
I
close
just
that command prompt and again restart that one? Close the command prompt and open that one more time.
yes.
Yep.
I think
It's
this is
connected
this
now. Yeah.
time. Yes, connected. Okay.
Password. Put the password.
Yes, connected.
Perfect. Okay. So you can do the commands and everything, right? I think that's something which you can try out. You can see how you can really do it. So just run sudo apt update,
Sudo apt update, right?
enter sudo apt install nginx.
Right. It will be complete.
Okay.
This is what I've got. Okay. Apt install. Correct, na? Nginx.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
And now you can copy the same IP address and put up in the browser just to access whether you are able to access that or not. Copy public IP. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, yeah, yeah.
So guys, yes, please everyone practice. Okay, and we'll connect on Monday for the further details. Perfect.
Sure, okay.
Sure, thanks. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you on Monday. Thank you.
Same
Bye.
to you. Bye bye.